So I'm live. We are back with deleted history. I think it's day 21. Don't get me to lying. I think it's day 21. Let me see. We've been doing this for 21 days straight, y'all. 21 days straight. And I'm so excited for those of you who've been really rocking with us on this journey. But today's episode is incredible. We are going to talk about how to never give up and how to monetize your license and get paid from your expertise. And if you are a woman who's been growing her business, feeling a little discouraged, you should listen to this video because I know it's going to inspire you. I've been doing a series for the last 21 days called Deleted History, 28 Black women entrepreneurs that they don't want you to know about. And I've been studying their lives, studying their stories, but the woman that we're talking about today is truly exceptional because she was the first professionally licensed Black nurse in the United States, graduating from the New England Hospital for Women and Children's Nursing Programs. And she did this in 1879. Y'all, she spent 15 years working in support roles at the same hospital that she eventually became one of the first Black licensed nurses in. She was a janitor, she was a cook, she was a washerwoman, she was a nurse's aide. And what I found even more incredible was that out of her 16-month nursing program, there were 42 students that started. Only 4 graduated, and she was one of them. And she did not grow up. She did not give up. She became known for her efficiency, her preparation, and her calm bedside manner. She refused to be relegated to servants' quarters. She ate at the family table with patients and their relatives, quietly resetting what professionalism looked like for Black nurses. Then she went on to co-found the National Association of Colored Graduate Nurses in 1908 to fight discrimination in nursing. Then she gave the opening speech at that same association's first national convention, which was, then she was made the actual chaplain and granted lifetime membership. Here's what I love about her story, and here's what I want you all to learn. Step 1. She did whatever it took to fund the education she needed to get where she wanted to go. Step 2, she got the education, she got the degree, she made history as the first Black licensed nurse. And then step 3, she created an association for other Black nurses so that they could do what she had done. I want you all to understand that sometimes in 2026, it feels like we are innovating and we're doing new things, but it historically, I hope you all are seeing a pattern from these stories. We have almost always had to break a barrier, go back and get another sister to show her how to break a barrier. Our shared knowledge and sharing information and coaching and leveraging our expertise and helping other people with it is old, y'all. We've been doing this. We've been about this life. And so if you are an expert, a professional, someone who should be growing your business, someone who should be coaching, someone who should be consulting, let this be your sign that that is you and that you should go all in on it and that you should do it. But I want you to first do what it takes to get the education that you need. And secondly, what I love about her story is that she did not give up when it looked like everyone around her was failing. Listen to this. Listen to this. If y'all are with me, comment, drop a 1 in the chat. Listen to this very closely. I want you to imagine being in a school, in a program, where you start with like 40-something people, and every week, dozens of people are dropping out. I want you to think about the thoughts you have to have, like the mental toughness that you have to have in order to be successful when your classmates are dropping out, where they're not successful, where it's not working out for them. For you to be one of 4, let me see how many, because I got my notes here, y'all, because I want to make sure I get this sister's history right. 42 started with her. Only 4 graduated, and she was one of them. The thing that I think is not missing from everybody, but one of the themes of this year, if you want to learn how to win this year, comment win. One of the things you're going to have to do is you are going to have to develop what I am calling emotional resilience. Emotional resilience. Emotional resilience says that it does not matter what's happening around me. I am determining that I'm going to win. Emotional resilience says it may look like other businesses are closing. It may look like other businesses aren't going to make it. It may look like other businesses aren't going to survive, but I am going to grow. Emotional resilience says, I see things happening around me. And once I get where I need to go, I'm going to go back and I'm going to help people around me, but I'm not going to give up. Emotional resilience is your cheat code to winning in 2026. Some of you all cannot afford to watch everybody do their "my business is closing" videos, because you start talking about how the market is so bad and nobody's buying and everybody's struggling and everybody's this. Whenever you have to use a term like all, everybody, most, is probably a lie. There's never been a time in this country's history where everybody didn't have it. There just hasn't. And so as a business owner, when things get tight, one of the hacks that I do is I try to figure out, okay, where are people still winning? Where are people still? Matter of fact, can I just detour? Can I tell y'all what I've been doing today? Can I just tell y'all like what I just did? If y'all want to know, comment yes in the comments. Like, can I just tell y'all what I just did? Here's what I just did. I was just on a call where they were raising funds for a commercial investment property. And the minimum investment in order to get into this deal is $100,000. And I was like, okay, cool. When they dropped the minimum investment, people from all over the world were like, how do I get in? Some people were even like, so how much can I invest? Like, am I capped at 100K? Can I invest up to $1 million? What does it look like for me to do this? Can I move funds around? Like, when do you need the money? What does it look like? Like, literally, I was in that room, and what it showed me is there's always two different Americas, right? And y'all know this, but I'm going to take it to the whiteboard because I want you to understand that right now, it's like the tale of two cities. And even though we know this logically, like we logically understand that everyone's not struggling, everyone's not doing the things, what I figured out is that wherever you exist, right? Let's say this is you. That's you. Wherever you exist, whatever you see around you determines what you think. It determines what you think. And so some of us are struggling to figure out, how am I going to make it? How is it going to work out for me? How am I going to be able to survive? How am I going to be able to thrive in this time period? Because you don't take yourself out of whatever bubble you're in and go to different bubbles and go to different places. I guarantee you there's a way for you to thrive in business right now. I guarantee you there is a way for you to do better than you're doing right now in business right now. But I also guarantee you that it starts not with you learning a new strategy, that it literally starts with you having a different thought process in your mind. And if you do not adopt that thought process of a winner, it is going to be very easy for you to get off track, off focus, off kilter, and you will end up losing and missing out on incredible opportunities because all you see is lack when other people see opportunity. And the truth is that right now we need to be so focused on how we are going to be a resource instead of need a resource, that if you are not thinking about these things, you need to be thinking about them. So I want to give you a simple process to start monetizing your expertise. Number one, you need to clearly define your expertise in light of the needs in your market. So not, oh, I'm a lawyer. I help business owners looking to go to the next level in their business, and I use my legal services to do it. I help, like, if you think of your I help statement, you want it to be specific to type and industry. So I help entrepreneurs going from $500,000 to $3 million in revenue to achieve legal security through our law firm. Example, I help HR directors in the tech field to increase employee retention and happiness. We developed a framework called the happiness score. They can take it. Like you need to narrow it enough so that someone who hears it can refer you immediately to someone that they can think of, right? Number two, you need to make sure that you are developing thought leadership content that shows people how you think about different issues. Pro tip on this, look at the headlines in the news and see, is there a way for you to tie what's going on in the news to your actual expertise and your topic. So, for instance, the woman that we're talking about today is a nurse. Something that happened recently in the nursing industry was that they were looking to declassify nursing as a professional degree. If that were to happen, it would make it more difficult for those who are seeking those degrees to get the funding that they need to become nurses. This will disproportionately impact women and people of color. It is what it is. So, when I did my post today about the woman that you're going to learn about, and that we talked about earlier, one of the things that I did was I actually took the fact that this is going on and I'm like, yo, if this happens, here's why this is relevant to Black women entrepreneurs. I'm gonna read you guys the post. This was the post. This is how I'm gonna give you an example of taking what's going on in the world and bringing it down to your expertise. So check it out. I'm watching the Trump administration tell nurses they're not professional anymore. And all I can think about is Mary Eliza Mahoney, not a policymaker, not a lobbyist, a Black woman born in 1845 who decided she was a professional long before the government had language for it. Her story didn't start with a white coat. She got a job at a New England hospital for women, not as Nurse Mahoney, but as janitor, as cook, and as a washerwoman. For more than 15 years, she worked behind the scenes to a system that did not see her as equal. She watched how the hospital ran, studied patient care, then she made a move. She applied to the hospital's nursing program, dozens started, only 4 finished. She graduated in 1879. Now, check this out. This is how we get to the news. Nursing gets moved off the professional degree list, loan caps tighten, graduate programs get harder to afford, and a woman-dominated field, especially filled by women of color, gets quietly downgraded on paper. They say it's not a value judgment, but the impact is loud. Fewer judges can afford advanced education, shortages get worse, patient care takes a hit. Women in healthcare pay the price yet again. Here's what they're saying. We need your labor. We're not sure we want to honor your expertise. Mary heard a version of this in 1879. She answered it with her life. Now, here's the hook. And as a Black woman in business in 2026, here's the lesson I'm holding tight. If they can reclassify nursing with a memo, they can reclassify you with a meeting. They can rename your role, restructure your salary, rebrand your expertise as support instead of strategy. Your title is rented, but your expertise is owned. You need to be at Black Women Sell Live, where we teach Black women entrepreneurs how to scale their own businesses so they never have to worry about their income being in the hands of people who they do not trust. Now, I teach sales to Black women entrepreneurs. So when I'm looking at the news and when I'm reading these historical stories, I'm drawing parallels from today's news, my expertise, sales strategy, their personal stories. Several of the live videos that I've done over the last 21 days, every day, take historical principles, make frameworks that we can use today to actually grow our businesses. You should be doing the same things. The 3-pronged approach is look at the news, look at your industry, distill a lesson that is relevant to your potential buyers. And then that is thought leadership content. Look at the news, look at your industry, distill a lesson that's relevant to your buyers. Does that make sense, y'all? If that makes sense, drop a 2 in the comments if y'all are hearing me on this. So many of us are just like confused about content, but look at the news, look at your industry, distill a lesson for your buyers. Don't leave the lesson for your buyers out, because if you just regurgitate what's going on in the news, that's not thought leadership content. If you're just regurgitating what's going on in the news, you're just a reporter. Reporters ain't giving their opinions. We don't want that. What we want is for you to take the next step. We want to hear, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you think about this that no one is saying? And here's the thing for me. There's a lot going on in the news, but when I look at the news, it's negative. So I don't want to just regurgitate the negative. I want to make sure that people feel empowered after listening to me to go and do something differently. And let me be real. Whenever there is a time where there is a recession, and no one can agree on whether or not we're in a recession right now. So what I will say is what consumer reports show is that the spending is growing in America. However, what experts can almost across the board agree with is the wealthy are largely forcing and pushing that growth. They're carrying the economy right now in terms of the numbers looking like it's growing. So what that tells me is that if you are someone who predominantly sells to middle and lower class Americans right now, spending has slowed down. People are thinking twice. That's not to scare you. That means if spending has slowed down, and back in the day, I used to be able to get 10 leads and convert 10 leads. Let's go to the whiteboard on this. Let's say 2021, pretty good year. 10 leads. If I got 10 leads in, let's say that converted to 5 clients. Okay, cool. Right now, we're seeing reports that spending has slowed. If that's the case, that means out of those same 10 leads, I would only get 2 clients. Are you following me? Comment following if you are, right? So if I want to grow my business in 2026 and I know that spending has slowed, but I still want to grow, I don't want to get 5 clients, I want to get 7 clients, I want to get 8 clients, then I want to have 30 leads. And out of those 30 leads, that means I would get 6 clients. What am I saying? I'm saying that what most entrepreneurs do, especially those who are under $500,000 in revenue, what I see all the time across the clients that we work with, this is what the data is telling me, is most entrepreneurs see that the economy is slowing down and they do what they see. No. So what do? They slow down. They do less launches. They spend less on ads. They do less marketing. They talk to their clients less. They get in their heads about it. But if you want to grow when the economy is slowed, what needs to happen practically, and it's not impossible, what needs to happen practically is this. You need to get more leads. You need to do more marketing to get a similar or a slightly bigger result. So if 10 leads equals 5 clients in a great economy, you need to be aiming for 30 leads a day. That converts to 6 clients. And at the same time, you need to be getting 1 to 2% better at everything else that affects the buying decision. Well, Ashley, what affects the buying decision? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you what affects the buying decision. A couple of different things. Number 1, price. It affects the buying decision. How can you get better at pricing your offers? How do you price your offers to get more clients? Now, that does not always mean a discount. It can mean you increase the value. There's 2 ways to leverage this. 1, you change the offer to increase the value. 2, you lower the price. Okay? That price affects the buying decision. You know what else affects the buying decision? Branding, how things look. Branding, your reputation, how you present, how things look. All of those things affect the buying decision. Another thing that affects the buying decision, language. This is a huge one. Oh my God. I spend so much time talking to my clients about the words that they use. The words that you use on your landing page, the words that you use on your sales call, the words that you use when you're doing an event and you're selling an offer. Language affects the buying decision, and I'm gonna prove it to you. If I say you can buy this purse, you feel one way about it. But if I say, hey, I have a leather bag that while I was in Brazil, I went into this beautiful town where they make all their leather by hand, and I found something called Brazilian cognac leather. You can only get it from this one town. So I have this Brazilian cognac leather bag that I'd love to sell you. It's only $2,000, but the resale value holds for maybe even $5,000 because it's just so rare. Like calling something Brazilian cognac leather instantly gives it a different appeal than saying I got a leather bag. Right? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like snacking. But your names. How are you naming your offer? Not just the offer. How are you naming the pieces of your offer? How are you talking about it? You know what else affects the buying decision? It's kind of a part of language. Your energy and your team's energy around the buying decision. All of this affects the buying decision. So, in addition to getting more leads, which we talked about, I want you to reevaluate your offers and get just 1 to 2% better on every single thing that affects the buying decision. That way, the things that were costing you sales in the past aren't costing you sales now. When times are good, y'all, anybody can sell anything. That's why the pandemic was so lit. Everybody was a coach. Everybody was an entrepreneur. The lines for the Louis store were out. I was like, are they giving away the bags? Like, I didn't understand what was going on. Everybody was buying everything. But in times where people are thinking about spend more, where people are not just spending freely, where they're actually looking at their dollars. Like I went to Cava the other day, and I never really remember the bills of things, but I went to Cava the other day. They charged me $20 for a bowl. I was like, yo, $20 is a lot of money. That night, I watched an entire article on how when Cava first went public, they were compared to Chipotle. And they were compared to Chipotle because they were going to be the next big fast casual dining empire. They were grossly overvalued. But since the release of their IPO, their company's financials have been doing horribly. You want to know why? Because they were supposed to be a brand for the people, a brand for everyone, college students, etc., not just upper class. But their prices did not say that. So their pricing basically it tarnished their stock price, and it hurt the valuation of their company pretty dramatically. They don't have a positive outlook on Cava right now. The reason being their price was divorced from the market that they were intending to serve. Because when I got my bill for $20, I was just like, this is kind of high. I mean, like, I go to Chipotle all the time, and I don't think it's $20 every time I get a bowl. But I just thought it was kind of high. But I typically, I'm not even conscious of that, but I am conscious of that now. I still bought it, but I thought about it. You know what I mean? So you want to be really clear, like, where are your people at on that scale? Are you selling to people who are not thinking about it? Are they in the upper class? Or are they thinking about pricing? Do you need to reevaluate that at these times? Or do you just need to get more leads so that you can consistently grow your business? Because the goal is never to survive. Like for me, I'm going to speak for myself. My goal is never to survive in business. My goal is to continue growing the company every year. Every year. Like, my goal is growth. So when we make our plans are never stabilization plans. Our plans are always growth plans. So when you think about what do you want to do to grow your business in 2026, what's your growth plan? Also, how are you creating demand for yourself, and how are you creating environments where your consumers know that there is limited supply, everybody cannot get in, and you are selective about who you work with if you are a high-end service provider. If you're not, then maybe there's something different you can do. And I'm going to tell you guys, we're doing an event. I hope, who knows the name of the event we're doing? Drop it in the comments. Let me see if we've been doing a good job. But we're doing an event in September. It's called Black Women Sell Live. And this event has 850 seats available to the general public, which sounds like a lot of seats until you hear that there are over 4,500 women on the wait list to get their ticket for this event. 4,500 women are already on the wait list to get their ticket for this event. If you want to get your ticket to the event, comment waitlist, get on the waitlist, because what happens is a day before we release tickets to the public, we release them to the waitlist, and our goal, of course, is to sell out through the waitlist. And there's 4,500 women on that waitlist as of today's date. There may be more. I haven't checked the numbers today, but yeah, 4,500 people for 850 seats. The reason why that I share that with you is, one, you should be at the event. It's incredible. It's a sales conference. We teach sales principles, sales psychology. You sell in the room. It is amazing. We've never had a conference in the last 3 or 4 years where someone hasn't made money in the actual room, like made sales live, which is why we call it Black Women Sell Live. We don't take bathroom breaks. We take sales breaks. We give you sales challenges during the conference. So every day you're actually doing activities that generate revenue for your business, that are aimed to generate revenue for your business. And so we knew that this event is historic. It's amazing. The first woman to start a bank, we found her great-great-granddaughter. She's going to come and speak and share some of the kitchen table principles that she's going to talk about. I went and found a Black woman billionaire. I mean, because, yeah, there's like 20,000 of those lying around. I went and found one of them, and I asked her, would she come and speak to us and let us ask questions and do a meet and greet with my mastermind? And she agreed, and we paid her to come. And so she's coming to speak. She's going to talk about how she built a billion-dollar empire. And although there are other conferences you can go and hear billionaires speak, most of the time they're not Black. And most of the time, they're not Black women. So I am just incredibly, I cannot even talk. I'm so excited about this doggone event. Our marketing campaign's been the marketing's been marketing, the people been coming, but for me talking about the event, sharing my enthusiasm, going and finding speakers a year in advance, putting 50 grand into an ad budget before we ever make $1 on ticket sales, going live every day for the last 21 days talking about the event, posting over 250 posts about this event, having my entire team make calls to people on the wait list for this. But for all of that, there is no demand for the event. I created the demand for the event. And I don't share that to brag or boast. I share that because what I don't see most business owners doing is manufacturing demand. You are hoping that one day you get big, you get discovered, some influencer shares your stuff, some celebrity likes you or whatever. That's the wrong way to do it. The way to do it is to manufacture demand. It is to make it so that people understand, don't play with me because I don't play with me. So when you talking about you gonna wait till next week and wait till next month and I'll just buy it closer to the event, baby, you ain't gonna get in the door. We're selling out months in advance. This event is historic. These people have never been on the same stage together, in the same building together, from billionaires to millionaires to myself teaching live through creative storytelling and engaging tactics to you selling live in the room. They don't have events like this anywhere else in the world. They don't. It came from my brain. It came from God's creative insight that he gave me. So I had to do the work. If I care like I say I care about helping Black women win, then it has to show up in the way I market. It has to show up in the way I sell. It has to show up in the way I move. It has to show up with my intense level of commitment. I already run a multi-million-dollar business per year in revenue. I hired my mom. I hired my husband. My husband works with me on the business. We take 40 days off a year and just go travel the world globally. When I tell people that, their jaws drop. They be looking like, what does this girl do? How can she do that? But I share that because more of us need to be able to have the luxury of saying that and doing it. I want more of us to be happy for real. Like, so happy that you don't have to pretend you like people you don't like. So happy that you don't end up in relationships you shouldn't be in. So happy and fulfilled and content and joyous that you don't have friendships that are damaging. So happy that you don't worry about cutting people off that do you harm. Like, I have a vision of us doing well. So well that we marry the actual love of our life and not the man who makes us feel insecure. Like, that is a real thing. You can be in a phenomenal relationship, like where someone loves you, where every time you see them, you just like get warm fuzzies inside. And I believe more of us need to know that that's possible. So I talk about my marriage and I have my mom and my dad speak at a lot of our events, and they'll be at these events because the images that we've seen of each other, they're just not right. And to be honest, they're not everybody's reality. I grew up seeing a lot of loving couples. And I know that's not the norm because I've seen the data, but it is the norm for me. And for some of you, you don't just need to have like generational wealth in terms of money. Some of you need generational joy. Some of you need generational peace. Like, you need to be the manufacturer of generational joy, generational peace, generational wealth, generational wisdom. How about that? Like, some of us need to just like, we are the answer that our family and our grandmamas prayed for, but we're walking and talking and looking and taking in things that are making us believe we're just like everyone else, or that it's so bad out here that we can't do it. So when I share the stories of sisters like the one that we're talking about today, like Mary Eliza Mahoney, and I share that she became a nurse in the 1800s and started her own organization to help other Black nurses after for 15 years working as a janitor and a maid and a waitstaff and a nurse's assistant. I share her story because if she could do it in the 1800s, baby, what you think we could do now? What you think? Like, my ancestors are jumping for joy that I am a happy Black woman, a fulfilled Black woman, and that I have a whole community of other wonderful Black women that are fighting for their peace. They're not complaining over one another, trying to figure out who has the worst story. They're literally comparing joy stories, even at a time like this. It is a revolutionary act for you to be a joyous, fulfilled Black woman. It is revolutionary. It is revolutionary for you to be peace, for you to be the personification of wisdom, for you to be so sure of yourself that you don't let people take you off your square, for you to be emotionally stable such that when someone does you wrong, you don't instantly go into like this emotional spiral, that you are so sure of yourself that you can govern multiple companies and handle all the wealth you're praying for and have a beautiful marriage. Like, y'all don't think that's revolutionary? It is. It is. That's why there's almost no images of that on day to day. That's why not a single reality show is based on the premise of joy, peace, and generational wisdom. They don't think people want to see that. So we go out of our way. We pay to ensure people see that. We go out of our way to make sure that at our event, At art, it's like Wakanda. Like you gonna walk in, everybody looking like happy and flowing around. Like just the fact that you get to be in a room full of happy women that want you to win, it's worth that. So we do these events, and I've been doing events since 2018. I do these events because I really care about community. They're a labor of love. You spend a lot of money doing events. It doesn't always seem like it makes sense. It seems like you could do it virtually and just make more profit, and many people do. But it's not just about the profit. We have a mission. And our mission at Black Women Sell Live is to ensure that when you come to an event that is run by Speak Your Way to Cash, and you see the billionaire woman that we have speaking, you hear me talk about how my first year in business, I made $800, but this past year we did close to $4 million in a year. Like when you hear us talk about our 17 team members around the world and all the people that we help support and our W-2 employees that we rescued from corporate America, and they now work at a company that actually values them and doesn't cap them because of their race or gender, it is because we need more employers. Only 2% of Black women-owned businesses have employees. We need more W-2 employers. And I think it's some of them on this call. So we do these events for a much bigger reason than, spinning a profit. I believe there is a gap in the images that people are actually seeing of us, and we need to ensure that there are other images available, and we need to talk game. Real game. How do you sell through bias? How do you bootstrap without venture capital? Because we know that we get less than 1% of the venture dollars out there. How do you, if you want to raise capital, what does it look like to go to investors? How do you evaluate loan terms so that you're not in a bad loan? Like we talk game. How do you make sales if you're starting from scratch? How do you make sales if you're already at 7, but you want to go to 5? How do you grow a $1 billion company? Is it one company or is it multiple entities? Do they each make $1 billion or do they combine make $1 billion? What does it look like? And that's why I'm not just having her come and speak. Because if she came and speak, it'd be amazing. Probably a really good story, very motivational, very strategic. But I'm going to ask questions. So my goal over the next 7 months is to learn everything I can about this billionaire Black woman that we have speaking at Black Women Sell Live, and to ask her the best, most poignant questions. I'm going to ask the women who are coming to the event, what do you want to know? And I'm going to pull the best questions and I'm going to ask them to her, because how often do we get to sit at the feet of someone who has made over a B? Not often. I don't get to do it often. I don't know about y'all. Y'all network may be set up differently. Y'all may be kicking it with Oprah and Rihanna and Beyonce and, who's the other sister that got it done? I cannot think of her name right now, but the other sister that's a billionaire in the U.S. So check it out. I want you all to come to Black Women Sell Live. I think it'll be amazing. Get on the wait list. I know everyone, I don't know. We have 850 public tickets that we are releasing on February 25th. We have 4,500 women on the wait list. You have to get on the wait list if you want to come to that event. This is where you're going to go. Comment wait list if you're on Instagram. Otherwise, go to blackwomensellavent.com. Join the wait list for whatever ticket type you want. And then there will be a screen that lets you get off the wait list early. If that's what you want to do, they get a 2-hour head start. Those who apply to get off the wait list early get a 2-hour head start. It's the best way to guarantee you get a shot at tickets. And then we release tickets February 25th at 9 a.m. If you apply to get off the wait list early, 7 a.m. It's amazing. General, digital workbook, access to all 3 days of the in-person event out of Atlanta, Georgia. People fly from all over the country to come to this event. So they be like, let me know when you come to LA, baby. I'm not coming to LA. You're going to have to come to Atlanta, okay? Then we have this ticket type, VIP admission. VIP gets a printed workbook at the event. VIP gets to get in early, express registration, pre-event Q&A with me. They get recordings from the events, and we'll go from there. All right. Platinum gets a private lunch with me on day 1. And yes, very, very good. So make sure you get on the wait list, y'all. It's going to be amazing. If you're interested in seeing what you're going to get at the event, check this out.
You need to be here. You are going to be transformed.
The energy, the history, the richness, the awesomeness is absolutely amazing.
Everything is giving opulence, high quality, and excellence.
Working with Ashley and her team has been amazing.
It's everything that my business needed it to be.
About time that we sing of nothing. What's up? You know, on this long road, accumulating legacy. And as time proceeds, preoccupied with everything, I think it's about time that I sing of nothing. Go! Go!
I desire to be, right now people are saying 6 figures, $1 million, 7-figure earner. But not everybody is doing 6-figure or 7-figure activities.
Don't be too smart to not get your money. You gotta sell your clients what they need, not what you want them to have.
Sometimes you have to say no. You have to get comfortable saying no. Because if we accept those opportunities that are not aligned with what we want, then we don't get to what we want.
In order to really build, sometimes you gotta go back to the foundation. The foundation of some of the things that we learned, they were good for a certain time, but they're not good for such a time as this.
Confidence comes from past experiences, and I want you to document that as well as what it gives you the right to say about yourself.
I want you to commit like a young lady who says she ain't never given up on love. I don't care how many marriages under her belt and how many divorces. I want you to commit.
When we talk about being a strong woman, we mix that up with thinking we can do this all by ourselves. We should not forsake the assembling of each other.
I'm so happy that you all are accepting that people are gonna pay you. I want you to remember, even today, large companies ask Black DEI experts to work for free. And we have this company so that you know you have a coach that will say, hell no.
You cling to this corporate ladder because on this ladder, your family looks up to you. And on this ladder, your employees look up to you. And on this ladder, you have direct reports. But over there, you ain't got no team. Over there, you gotta work with VAs and you don't even know where they at in the world and you don't even know if they gonna respond. But over here, you got a whole team and you get paid every 2 weeks. And even though you go home and you're not happy, you cling.
Yes. Chris and Ashley, thank you. Honestly, I came here empty and just even in one day have been like overflow with just the amount of information, the amount of support, the amount of love.
Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for the support that you've given me. I am happy to continue to move forward with the program and I look forward to the next coming year.
Been on this long road accumulating levels. It's time to see, preoccupied with everything. I think it's about time that we sing of nothing. Stop. Been on this long road accumulating legacy. And it's time to proceed, preoccupied with everything. I think it's about time that I sing of nothing. Go! Been on this long road accumulating legacy. And it's time to proceed, preoccupied with everything. I think it's about time that I sing of nothing. Go! Been on this long road accumulating legacy. And it's time to proceed, preoccupied with everything. I think it's about time that I sing of nothing.
Welcome home. Okay, welcome home. Welcome to an incredible community. We are just getting started, y'all. We are gonna have an incredible, incredible, incredible year. All right. Okay, guys. So I want to see you guys at Black Women Sell Live. It's going to be amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, it's going to be so, so, so good. I cannot wait. I know that you all will have a great time. It's always incredible. So get on the wait list. Tickets open at 9 a.m. Set your alarms. Make sure you are one of the first to get a ticket. The first 100 people to get a ticket actually get a Q&A with me. It is going to be such a vibe, and I just can't wait. I already know it's going to be an epic event. I'll see y'all there.